Welcome back to Woodcraft716.com. I'm Mike Weibel, and on this channel we build awesome projects with inexpensive tools. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe, like, and hit that bell icon so you're notified of all the new content we have coming out. Today, we're going to be building these awesome planter boxes. They look great and they're super strong and sturdy. They'll last a good long time. We're going to be focusing on building a square box today. But you could build the long one just as easy. You just have to change a few dimensions. These planter boxes look great and they're so easy to make. I know you can make it. Follow along in this video and we'll have no problems making this. So let's create and inspire together. To start this project, I'm going to start like I normally do and cut the legs. I'm going to use this 1x10 and cut it into 23.5-inch pieces. Then I'll take it over to the table saw and cut them to width. We're going to need 8 pieces at 3 inches and 8 pieces at 2 1/4 inches. That way when we butt them up against each other and pocket hole screw them, they'll make a corner. Now come over to the table saw and we'll cut 4 pieces at 3 inches and 4 pieces at 2 1/4 inches. And now our legs are cut. If you're going to be making all 3 of the planter boxes, go ahead and cut all your 3-inch pieces first and then move your fence and cut all your 2 1/4-inch pieces so they stay the same. Okay, we're back at the miter saw and we got another 1x10. We're going to cut it to 23 3/4 inches. This will be for the top rails. Then it's back over to the table saw and we're going to cut these down to 1 3/4-inch strips. The next thing we're going to do is come back to the miter saw and we're going to cut 45-degree angles on all of the pieces for the top rails. I'm just going to use the length we have and make that the longest part of the miter cut. I'm going to cut it and then flip it over and cut the other side and then put them off to the side when I'm done. They don't have to be perfect, they just have to be close. Make sure you pay close attention to your orientation so you don't end up with 2 angles that are going the same way. That's no good, we'll make another one. Now that we have our miter cuts in all of our top pieces, we're just going to glue them and shoot some brad nails in from the sides just like we were building a frame. And just like that, we can put this off to dry. So now we'll go on to the legs. I took the narrow section, the 2 1/4-inch piece, and I put 3 marks on it, and we're going to put pocket holes in it so we can screw them together and make a nice corner leg. I'm using Armor Tools Auto-Jig. I'm not sponsored by them, but I think it's a decent tool. If you're interested in a review that I did on this, I'll put a card above. And if you're interested in buying one, I'll put a link in the description below. We'll finish up putting our pocket holes in and we'll put it off to the side. Just like that. Now to assemble the legs, we'll just take our 2 1/4-inch piece, screw it to the 3-inch piece. That'll give us a nice 3-inch by 3-inch corner. We'll just glue it, clamp it, and pocket hole screw it. We'll just start at one end, put our pocket hole screw in, make any adjustments to keep it flat as we work down the line. I'm using Type-On 3 because it's waterproof, so it should hold up outside. Just like that. So I picked up these pine 1x from Lowe's. They're tongue and groove, and we're going to need 5 of them for each side. We're going to cut them to 21 5/8. I set a stop here at the miter saw, and we're just going to cut them. We need 5 for each side, so we'll need a total of 10. We're just going to cut them, wait for the blade to stop, remove our piece, and just keep on cutting them. Okay, so now we're going to do the front and the back slats. We moved our stop to 20 1/4, and we need 10 more pieces. We're just going to cut them the same way we cut the first ones, moving right down the line. Next we have to take 2 of the side panels for the top and 2 of the side panels for the bottom and cut off the tongue on one and the groove on the other. That way at the top and the bottom we'll have nice smooth surfaces. Now we're going to stain the sides, the fronts, and the backs. We're going to leave the legs and the top frame to paint black. I'm using the Tomson Water Seal Waterproofing Stain. It's a transparent stain that's a waterproofer, and the color is Sequoia Red. I believe that's how you say it. So it's a wood stain and sealer all in one. So the Sequoia Red kind of looks like cedar when it's dry. So we'll go ahead and paint these up, making sure to cover the end grains. Make sure we cover this whole thing because it is a water sealer. Everywhere that water could possibly get in, which is pretty much everything. So make sure you seal up the whole thing and we'll be good to go. And once they're all done, we'll put them off to dry. Just like that. Okay, while the water sealer is drying, we're going to go ahead and start using our Krylon Color Max. It's just an acrylic latex. I have it in satin, and we're going to paint both sides of the frame and both sides of the legs, paying close attention to hit the end grain on the legs. We want to seal this thing up good. We want to cover both sides, top and bottom, all the way around, and give it a nice coat of paint. If you're interested in any of the paints and water sealer I used, I'll put a link in the description below. And we'll have this done in no time and put it off to dry. Just like that. So I've gone ahead and laid the legs down and I squeezed the tongue and grooves together. I'm going to put 2 screws in each side into each of the legs. Then I'm going to stain the back once this is all assembled. I'm just going to line the top up and start there. Then I have a square set to the right height from the bottom of the leg. So we'll start at the top and work our way down and make sure we hit that mark at the end. And there you go. One of the sides is done. I think it looks pretty sweet. We'll go ahead and assemble the other side and then we'll build this box. We have our side sitting up here and we're going to do the same thing on the front and back. We're just going to start with the top one, make it even, and now we don't even need the square because we're just going to bang it up so it's even with the side ones. Alright, now we'll flip it over and do the same thing to the front or the back, whichever you prefer. Now we'll go ahead and stain the inside. Making sure we cover the whole thing. We want to seal it up good with this Tomson's water seal. I'm just going to brush it on like we did on the outside. Here I just took a piece of 1x and put it inside the case about 8 inches down from the top. We'll put that together as a platform inside the case so you don't have to fill the whole thing with dirt. Now we got our case flipped over and we have our 2 rails in. Those are glued and screwed together. Earlier in the video I said you needed 5 pieces per side. We actually only needed 4, so we're going to use the 5th one for these bottom slats. We'll glue it and shoot a couple brad nails in it and that'll be good. Make sure you leave some space on the sides and in the middle for drainage. We'll have to put some landscape fabric in there just so none of the dirt falls out, and it'll be good to go. Now that the platform's in, we're going to go ahead and put the top on. We're going to glue it and brad nail it all the way around. I still haven't decided if I'm going to put some screws in the corners or not. I think I'll hold off on that and see how this holds up. So I'm just going to go around the whole thing and glue it, put the top on, line it up nice and straight, and then go ahead and nail it, and nail the whole thing all the way around. Wipe off any extra glue, and this thing's good to go. And just like that, these things are done. Man, they look sweet. I love the color of that Tomson's water seal against the black legs and top. These things are strong and sturdy, and they should last a good long time. We put our shelf at about 8 inches down. A friend of mine that owns a nursery, Alan, told me that that's the proper depth for the dirt. If you got any value out of this, subscribe, like, and leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of these planter boxes. And remember to always create and inspire. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.